Kenya's reckoning when dissent meets state power. In a world where tweets can challenge presidents and blog posts can bring down ministers, one man in Kenya paid the ultimate price for speaking out. His name is Albert Ojwang, and his death wasn't just tragic, it was political. It was personal, and it might just be Kenya's tripling point. I'm Jalene Tesfaye, and this is Analytica Today. When police in Nairobi fired tear gas at peaceful demonstrators last Thursday, they were not stopping chaos. They were fueling a crisis. The protests were over one man, a 25-year-old blogger found dead in police custody days after calling out Kenya's Deputy Inspector General online. So, what happened to Albert Ojwang? Why did the state stay silent? And what does his death reveal about democracy's fragility? Let's break this down. It started on June 7. Ojwang was arrested and charged with cyber harassment, a vague label that's increasingly being used across Africa to stifle dissent. His target, Deputy Inspector General Eliud Lagat, a top cop not used to being questioned. Days later, Ojwang was dead. Police said suicide, but the facts told a very different story. Independent pathologist Bernard Media found external injuries, deep bruises, and trauma incompatible with suicide. The government offered no counter-autopsy, no press statement, no accountability. The state's silence screamed louder than any denial. What followed was spontaneous, emotional, powerful. Protests flooded Nairobi's central business districts, young, angry, mostly under 30. They were not just mourning Ojwang. They were challenging the system that killed him. And the state responded with tear gas. Think about that. A peaceful protest about police abuse answered with more police abuse. It was not about order, it was about intimidation. In that moment, the Kenyan state was not protecting stability, it was exposing its fear of scrutiny. But here's the thing, Ojwang's case is not isolated. It's part of a pattern across Kenya and the broader region. Arrest the critic, discredit the story, then, if necessary, let them disappear. Per the Kenya Human Rights Commission, over a dozen journalists and online activists have been detained under ambiguous cyber laws in the last 2 years alone. And now, people are connecting the dots. This is not just about Ojwang. It's about whether citizens can question power without fearing prison or worse. Here's where it backfired. Instead of silencing dissent, Ojwang's death ignited it. Pathologist media's reports was more than a medical file. It was evidence. It turned a suspect into a symbol. Every gas canister fired became a headline. Every silent official, another reason to demand answers. The more the state tried to bury the story, the more it spilled into the streets, the screens, the world. Here's the truth. Kenya is at a crossroads. If justice fails now, if silence wins now, then Ojwang's story becomes not a warning, but a blueprint. So, what does Albert Ojwang's death expose? It means that in Kenya today, a blog post can be a death sentence. It means democracy is not tested in elections, but in how states treat dissent when no one is watching. And it means the fight for justice does not end with a funeral, it begins there. For Kenya's leaders, the choice is clear: accountability or chaos. Reform or resistance. What happens next is on all of us to witness, to question, to remember. I'm Jalene Tesfaye, and this is Analytica Today. And if you believe voices like Ojwang's deserve to be heard, subscribe, share, and stay informed.